In Hebrews, we have the most sophisticatedly written piece of the New Testament, written anonymously, likely around the time of AD 64. Many over the years have thought Paul, but for different reasons, this is likely not the case. It's near impossible to say who wrote this letter particularly. Priscilla has been thrown out because of the fact that it's anonymous, and her being a woman. Apollos is also probably even more likely. And then beyond that, there's really no way to say definitively. We know they were a fellow worker with Timothy, that Timothy had been in prison during this time, and likely Paul would have referred to his own chains if he was the one writing this letter as well. The big purpose of this, as this writer is speaking from Rome to the Jewish people there locally, but of course to all of us as we have it now in the canon of Scripture, is that Jesus being the great high priest, as well as how God has revealed himself to us at this time after having gone through so many different ways and revelations through the fathers of the faith. You see time and time again different illustrations are mentioned to point us to God himself through Jesus Christ, seeing the perfection and understanding of our faith, the way to salvation. This picture of priesthood is mentioned and captured in this person of Melchizedek, who is a type of Christ, who points to the beauty of this godly, Christ-like priest, king figure, way before even anything was set up regarding Mosaic law or what you would think of as your typical patriarchy in the Old Testament lineage. This is coupled as well in the way of following the Lord. This idea of following God throughout the book is very prevalent. And then the highlight of this is what's known as the Hall of Faith in chapter 11, where you have so many great people of the past who acted in faith through various actions that were taken. All of this pointing to what they were seeing in that day, serious persecutions that were taking place. Of course, even on into our day, there is something that is required of us. Our faith is not supposed to be a dead faith, as James would talk about, but it's supposed to be something that the grace that we're given, the faith that we place in Christ, is to motivate life change. And you see, again, the same, despite all the Jewish flavor and strong Old Testament elements, this is as much consistent with anything else in the New Testament as you can find. And is worth reading, considering, trying to see how we can apply these elements to our life, because the time that we're living in, although different, is consistent in age.